The Toronto Raptors started off what do I say? I don't like to call it the second half of the NBA season. It's more like the last third of the NBA season. But anyway, they start off on the right foot, 110, 101. They take down the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. So we got to drop one for the Toronto Raptors here. Welcome back and very nice All-Star break. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm sure a lot of you were dying to get back into NBA basketball and some Raptors action. So let's get straight into it tonight. The Raptors have 27, now 26 games remaining on the season. And so, they're going to be jockeying for playoff position, right? So these are very important games coming up. Okay, Collin Murray-Boyles gets to start over Jakob Poeltl in this game. He came off the bench. And the Raptors have 12 home games. They have 15 away games. They have 5 back-to-backs remaining. And this is the first game since November 7th that they have had everyone available to play. Okay, since November 7th. That is absolutely just nuts. Okay, just nuts. So the Raptors come out in this game, and they're very aggressive defensively. And from a defensive standpoint, I do have to admit they were pretty damn good all night. They were pretty good all night. If it's one thing that we got to give credit to Darko and the coaching staff for, from a defensive standpoint, they looked ready tonight. They look ready. I'm going to drop one for them for that for sure, because that's one thing that I have to give them. 6-0 run to start the game, and all of their points were coming in the paint early. They were attacking the basket, which is exactly what I want to see. And it's a 10-2 Raptors run to start the game. All 10 points came in the paint. And that was with 7:18 remaining in that first quarter. Now, crazy here because RJ, you don't see RJ get too mad or upset when he's out there on the court. And don't get me wrong, we know he's aggressive, right? And we know he's got some attitude with him. But he gave a vicious elbow to the stomach of Nick Richards. The referees go to look at it, and they upgrade it to a flagrant one. And then you saw them laughing about it after. But, I mean, damn. I mean, I'm not mad at it, by the way, because you know me. I like aggressiveness out here on a basketball court. And that's what we were seeing early on from the Raptors in this one. So the Raptors end up struggling mid to late in the first quarter. It was a 19-18 ball game with 2:21 remaining in that first quarter. The Raptors are shooting 9 of 21 from the field. Chicago was 6 of 13 from the field. The Raptors had 14 points in the paint, but 10 points off of turnovers in that quarter. And the quarter wasn't even up yet. Okay, that was the thing about it. The Raptors were getting the Chicago Bulls to turn the damn ball over, which is exactly what we need here. Okay, 23 turnovers in total. 23 turnovers in total for the Chicago Bulls in this game. And one of them was Jamal Shed checks into the game. And Colin Sexton is coming up the court. And Jamal Shed just puts the clamps on him. Absolutely puts the clamps on him. Gets him called for an 8-second violation. And so another turnover for the Chicago Bulls. And Walter in the first Q had 2 steals. It was a pretty up-tempo game early on. 25-23. Ingram with 9 points after that first Q. So the Raptors did look really good defensively in that first quarter. I was keeping my eye on that. From an offensive standpoint, I wasn't too worried because I figured, I mean, you're going up against the Chicago Bulls. And don't get me wrong, they do have some nice players, especially with that guard play action that they have. And they could light you up quickly if you're not careful. But I wasn't really too worried about the Raptors from an offensive standpoint. With the guys that they have going up against the Bulls, not too worried there. The issue of what I wanted to see is how they were going to look defensively. And they came out and played well. They were aggressive defensively. And that is what all of us should be looking at down the stretch in this season right now, because the games are going to start getting tighter. They're going to start getting slower, right? You're not going to see as much up and down that you necessarily saw at one point earlier in the season. It's going to be in half court sets. The games are going to tighten up. It's going to slow down. And so you want to see what they can do in a half court defensive set. That is going to be key. Let's get to the second quarter. Scotty starts the quarter aggressive. Okay, he was looking to score 8 points with 8:50 remaining in that second quarter. And to be completely honest with you, that's what I want to see out of Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes has to be aggressive. He can't look to just pass it off onto Ingram or Barrett or Quickley or whatever. But he had a quiet scoring night tonight. He had 34 minutes in this game. He had 14 points. He was 5 of 14 from the field, 0 of 1 from three-point range, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. But he gave you 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. But he also had 6 turnovers. So a pretty good game from Scotty Barnes in terms of everything else. Scoring, and on the offensive end, he did struggle, but once again, still stuffed the stat sheet with a whole bunch of different things, right? Raptors subsequently go on a 12-0 run with 7 minutes remaining in that second quarter. But Brandon Ingram, my goodness, I mean, he was knocking down triples. He had 15 points early in that second quarter, I should say midway through. And he was hitting threes in transition as the trailer. So you see how important it is to run the floor. And Brandon Ingram overall in this game, we got to give him a lot of props here too. In 36 minutes, he had 31 points. He was 11 of 26 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point range, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Also gave you 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals in this game. So you know what we got to do. Post game, did you hear his post game? I heard
I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want.
Take it easy, BI. Take it easy, okay? Listen. 51-41 with 2:52 remaining in that second quarter. And at this point, the Raptors have already forced 13 turnovers. That's with 3 minutes remaining in that second quarter. And Ingram and Barnes, if you didn't know this, Ingram and Barnes are the only teammates in the NBA with over 1,000 points and over 300 rebounds. Only 2 teammates in the NBA to have that number in regards to points and rebounds. And over the career of Brandon Ingram, when it comes to the Chicago Bulls, he plays them pretty well. Look at his numbers in his career against the Chicago Bulls, averaging 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He has a thing for just beating up on the Chicago Bulls. Like, whatever it is, when he goes up against them, he just goes crazy on the Bulls. Okay, whatever it is. But he had another stellar night kicking the behind of the Chicago Bulls, and I was there for it. I was happy to see it. 17 points with 1:30 remaining in that second quarter. And the Raptors go into halftime with a 53-45 lead. Barnes and Darko, interestingly enough, Barnes got pretty ticked off midway through that second quarter. He wasn't playing well. And Darko called a timeout. And he was going to slap Scotty 5. And Scotty kind of pulled his arm away because he was all pissed off about it. I don't really see Scotty get that pissed. It was kind of good to see at the same time because, listen, I want to see emotion. I want to see emotion. I want to see leadership from Scotty Barnes. And I'm not talking about this specific play here, but I want to see emotion. I want to see leadership. I want to see communication. I want to see all these different things from Scotty Barnes down the stretch in this season. And he did show some of that emotion there tonight, sometimes to his detriment when he's arguing calls and sulking about calls. I don't want to see all of that. I don't want to see that. You get the call or you don't. Get your ass back on defense. continue to play the game. I don't want to see you out here whining or sulking about calls, even though you could be correct and it does go your way. Even though you're correct and it could go your way, we don't have time for that. And you got to start leading by example, which he is doing. And I want to see him continue to do that. Walter, 6 points at and a half, very good defensively. And that was with 10 minutes of playing time in that first half. Scotty had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals at that point. But the Raptors were just 3 of 12 from 3-point range in that first half. Let's talk about Jacoby Walter for a second, because Jacoby Walter in this game, he came off the bench. He gave you 22 minutes in this game, 14 points. He was 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3-point range, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, just 1 turnover, but gave you 3 steals as well. That's the number that you want to circle. You want to circle those 3 steals. We're going to drop one for Jacoby Walter, because seeing him out there all through this game in those 22 minutes, I'm telling you, he had some dog in him out there. He had some dog in him. He put up some big buckets tonight and some big defensive possessions, taking accountability, big stuff. So Bulls now, okay, they come out in that third quarter. And one thing that I did realize stemming back to that second quarter, they came out much more aggressive defensively because the Raptors were kind of bullying them a little bit. I told you about the numbers, right, in regards to turnovers in this game. 23 turnovers compared to 14 to the Raptors. And a lot of those turnovers, those were not unforced. They were forced turnovers by the defense of the Raptors in this one. RJ picked up his third foul early in that third quarter with 9 minutes remaining. And overall with him, RJ had 13 points in this game, just 3 of 10 from the field. Not a good shooting night in 25 minutes, 1 of 3 from 3-point range, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. No turnovers in this game for RJ. But Quickley, to me, I thought he was going to be a key in this game. And another quiet scoring night, for Quickley. Call it what you want. 33 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3-point range, which is rare for Quick. 4 of 5 from the free throw line with just 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals in this game. I do think he played decent, though. I do think he played decent. You wouldn't be able to tell from the box score, even though the numbers aren't terrible. But I thought Quickley actually did a really good job defensively down the stretch in this game. And we will talk about that in just a little bit. But he did come alive, getting a few buckets early in that third quarter. He had 10 points with 7:10 remaining in that third quarter. And let me move my notes up here a little bit. But Walter, like I mentioned, because I'm now here looking at my notes again, he did have a bit of a pep in his step. He had some pep in his step. It was good to see Jacoby Walter giving you some life off of the bench, right? Because Jamal Shed, he played 20 minutes off the bench tonight. Mamu, Pirtle as well. Grady Dick was Grady Dick. He had 9 minutes off the bench as well. But Jacoby was definitely the most effective player off the bench. Jamal Shed did some good things as well. Pirtle. Now, it was interesting to me that Pirtle didn't start in this game. And he played 16 minutes in this game. He had 2 points and no rebounds in 16 minutes. Jakob Pirtle did not have a rebound in this game.
It's happening over here during whole season. I've been holding it back. It's a complete crap. This is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this.
I don't know what that's about. But Collin Murray-Boyles had some rebounds in this one. He had 6. And in 29 minutes, he had 11 points. He was 4 or 5 from the field, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, no turnovers. And I'll get back to him in just a second because we got to keep talking about my guy, Brandon Ingram, who was absolutely just cooking, getting buckets. With 4 minutes remaining in that third quarter, he had 24 points and he was attacking the paint. Just attacking the paint. It was a good thing to see. I'm bullish on these guys attacking the paint. I think it's extremely important if you want to get some better looks from 3-point range. Once again, cooking, making threes, hitting you up from mid-range, getting to the basket, hitting on all 3 levels, 29 points with 1 minute remaining in that third quarter. And the Raptors had 20 assists on 32 made field goals, 42 points in the paint at that point after the third quarter. Pirtle, like I mentioned, 2.0 rebounds in 14 minutes at that point. Walter, 11 of the Raptors' 20 bench points after 3 quarters. 87, 78 Raptors after 3. Let's get to the last cue here, ladies and gentlemen. So the Raptors come out in that fourth quarter, and they look a little lost without Brandon and Ingram in the game. Sometimes they just look completely lost with him. And I'm not saying that that happens often, but in this game it did. They needed to put him back out there on the floor immediately, if you ask me. At least that's what I was thinking early on in that fourth quarter. And now Quickley was getting into the paint, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 12 points with 9:40 remaining. And Scotty was picking up Giddey full court. I do have to give credit where it is due because Scotty, I think, did a pretty damn good job defensively. And Josh Giddey in this game, you're looking at 21 minutes, just 5 points, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3-point range. 3 of his points came from the free throw line. He gave you 4 rebounds, 5 assists as well. Anthony Simons is the guy who's doing the most damage for on the Toronto Raptors again, going up against the Bulls. 20 points in this one in 31 minutes, 7 of 18 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3-point range. Buzelis, just 4 points. Okoro gave you 16. And the spreading was the scoring was kind of spread out for the Bulls in this game. Bunch of points off the bench, 8, 6, 6, 11 for Sexton, Nick Richards, Patrick Williams, Yabusele, Trey Jones, who I actually thought did a pretty decent job down the stretch in this game. He had 12 points, 6 assists in this game, so he did well coming off the bench in that game. Trey Jones as well. But Scotty was doing work and forcing the ball away from Giddey with that full court defense that he was playing. He was playing really good defense on anybody that he was matched up against, and it made a massive, massive difference. Now, the Bulls did cut it to 4, and Scotty missed a wide open bucket pretty much right in front of the basket. The score was cut to 4, 96-92 with 7:21 remaining in that fourth quarter. And another possession now, because we've talked about Jacoby Walter, he absolutely put the clamps on Giddey. Like he put the clamps on Giddey. Okay. And where am I looking here? He forces him to throw up an air ball. Okay. When the game was getting tight. And, you know, it's so hard because I've talked to you about Collin Murray-Boyles, and he had a nice and one down the stretch in this game when the Bulls went on a 7-0 run and cut this thing to a 2-point lead, 103-101 with 138 remaining in this game. Oh, my back is killing me. Collin Murray-Boyles gets fouled and one, like I mentioned, but watching him with that damn thumb, man, I think he has a fractured thumb. I don't know what the diagnosis is on that thumb, but I'm pretty sure he has a fractured thumb because the amount of grimacing, especially when he goes up for a dunk and hits it on the rim, something is wrong with that thumb. Something is definitely wrong with that thumb. And I'm just hoping that they're paying, well, we know they're paying extreme attention to it, but they really got to be careful that it doesn't get worse. They got to be careful that it doesn't get worse. And at the end of this one, Anthony Simons had the ball. He's being D'd up by um pause, by the way. Immanuel Quickley. And Immanuel Quickley put on some stellar defense in the end against Anthony Simons and forces him to take a bad shot and bricks it at the rim. And I got to give credit. He was all over him. He was on his ass like back pockets. Okay. Got to drop one for Immanuel Quickley from a defensive standpoint. And then Ingram heads into an ISO, nails it mid-range. That was a nail in the coffin. It was 108, 101 with 35 seconds remaining in that game. The Bulls could not recover. And the Raptors start their last third of the season on a good foot. They take out the Chicago Bulls 110 to 101. They do not play again until Sunday. And who are they playing? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see who it's going to be. It is the Milwaukee Bucks. And they're playing in Milwaukee. They are playing in Milwaukee. At MikeRoach7 on IG, at MikeRoach23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share the show. Interesting times here. Interesting times. The Raptors just got to be healthy pretty much at this point. What do you think they will be their last 27 games of the season? What is your prediction for their record? I will get back to you in the comments as soon as I possibly can. Looking forward to speak to you guys there. Interested to hear your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Get down in there. Like I mentioned, I'll get back to you as fast as possible. And I'm interested to hear what you guys think the Raptors will be playing like in these last 27 games and where do you think they will finish in the standings. All right. This is the Mike Roach Show. I'll be back again soon, and I'm out.